Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 should not be called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Not just because it was always a name with an unwieldy amount of punctuation, but because this is not the sequel that fans of the cult classic 2004 RPG are after. Now, it could still be a good game, which I will touch on in a moment, but going in the direction that it has, a set protagonist, stripping away RPG mechanics, and clans being handled so differently, moves so far away from what we thought we were getting that it might as well be another game altogether. During the Gamescom demo, we were taken through the opening of the game, with the main character, Fire, waking up after a long slumber. Another vampire, Fabian, is stuck in their head, but he has no idea how he got there. He does know a bit about Fire, though, giving us our first hint that they are a major player on the scene. Playing as a character who is hundreds of years old is far from the usual opening to an RPG, which sees us start as a nobody before we rise through the ranks. Admittedly, Fire has been out of the game for so long that they will have to get reacquainted with the world. But Bloodlines 2 makes it clear from the start that Fire is a pre-written character and much more powerful than those around them. This is most evident in the gameplay, which lets us play around with telekinesis, the ability to scan for living creatures through walls, and more. So, don't come here expecting to make your own vampire. That's not to say there are no role-playing opportunities. During some conversations, we could indicate how Fire felt about something that happened in their past and how they would want to be remembered. Whatever you choose, though, it certainly seems that Fire will be roughly the same character with a more martial background, as the devs at the Chinese Room put it. On that point, it sounds like Fabian will provide a less combat-oriented approach to the story, as the devs tell me that he is very different from Fire. Admittedly, Fire led the conversations while I played, and even if their personality was harder to influence, certain dialogue options will appeal to NPCs more than others. I just can't see us playing Fire as a pacifist. Ultimately, the devs emphasized that Fire's story is the focus here, rather than the setting being our playground. The demo set this up nicely, but even so, it wouldn't explain away some of the more concerning game design decisions.
There are some bizarre choices being made with Bloodlines 2.
If you're wondering how customizable Fire will be, adjust your expectations now. Nothing about their face or body shape could be changed, although you can choose their gender. Other than that, there are some neat hairstyles and makeup options, but once again, it all serves as a reminder that Fire isn't an original character for us to create. Except, no, not really. We can choose whether Fire was a man or a woman, and then we choose which one of the 6 vampire clans she belongs to. Those have huge implications for the lore, so why can't we make Fire ourselves, like Vivi in Cyberpunk 2077? Why can't we change their skin color or anything else about their appearance, when we can change so much more that will surely impact how the world views them? It's a bizarre middle ground, and makes me wonder how much clans will really matter outside of combat. And even if that doesn't matter to you, then the horrendous handling of the DLC should. I said there were 6 clans Fire could join, but that's bumped down to 4 without the DLC. Imagine Baldur's Gate 3, but monks and bards were paywalled. There's no excuse for this. I wonder if this means that clans will have less of a narrative impact this time around. If your choice of clan dramatically changes how NPCs perceive you, then it would only be more rotten to paywall it. If it's solely based on gameplay, it's still grim, but at the very least, we'd all have access to the same story. Putting any controversy aside for now, and moving away from the game that it isn't, what do I make of the game that it is? It's promising, that's for sure. Traversal was smooth and intuitive, and the opening area made the most of Fire's vampiric abilities to sneak around, assess the threats around them, and survive while upholding the titular Masquerade. And while I didn't see enough to really play around with them, the abilities I unlocked by choosing to play as a Toreador sound interesting, charming enemies into fighting by my side. With that said, that is one of the paywalled clans, so not everyone will be able to play the game this way. These abilities cost blood pips to use, with the devs telling me that this is to encourage us to play around with our strategies in battle. So far, I don't see that being an issue. And with how much of a blast I had running around, feeding off enemies and messing around with them with the powers, I'm happy to explore the various skills when the game launches. One thing I would like to see improved is the enemy AI, however, as it was shockingly poor at noticing my low-level character blatantly sneaking around them to strike.
Bloodlines 2 has so much working against it.
While the demo confirmed that, at the very least, Bloodlines 2 is real and will almost definitely hit its release date this year, it's opened up just as many concerns as it has eased. In terms of the story and this take on the setting, I'm impressed and willing to see what the Chinese room has to offer. But will I keep running into brick walls whenever I want to roleplay? Will longtime fans feel hard done by after years of waiting for this sequel? I am looking forward to exploring the world with Fire and Fabian, I can say that much. But I will never forgive the game for paywalling the way I want to play. It's hard to see a situation where that is excusable.